Well, welcome back to another edition of The Morning View.
Yes. Michael Carrick seems like a perfect match. He seems like a perfect match at the minute in terms of the feeling that he's bringing to individuals. Collectively as a team, yes. But what he's doing for the likes of Benjamin Sesko, what he's doing for the likes of Kobbie Mainoo, elevated. Look how Leach is playing at the moment. Matheus Cunha conversations have sort of died down a little bit. Not that like it was fraud watch or anything like that. But what I'm saying is that in the last 3 games, he's leveled up. He's producing the moments that we bought him for. Brian Mbeumo has a different type of role through the middle, but he's thriving in what he's doing. The whole team, Diogo Dalot, guys, let's have it right. Diogo Dalot's playing well. He's playing well under Michael Carrick. I watched that game back against the last game we played. I forgot who we even played. The last game we played against Fulham. I literally forgot who we played. And like, he's playing well. He's using the ball well. And the point is that we don't know what the future is going to hold. Yeah, we don't know what the future is going to hold. But Michael Carrick seems like he's the perfect match for what these guys need right now. Well, clearly the first 3 games show us it. The web fear says there, like, nah, Flex, Dalot is still criminal. He's just not as exposed. Well, then there you go. He's not as exposed. Carrick's made it. Even if that's what you believe, I think it's a little bit more than that, but I get what you're saying. Okay, he's not as exposed. Well done, Michael Carrick. Don't expose one of the players you don't need exposing. Patrick Dorgu, look what he was doing. So, I don't know, man. Carrick needs a lot of praise. He does. He needs a lot of praise for the last 3 games and how the players are responding to him. Big up to yourselves. We're going to talk about Michael Carrick. Obviously, Spurs coming up. We're going to get into that. The window is shut. You know, some players are angry they didn't get their moves. You know, it's all going off. Dwight McNeil's girlfriend's going mad. Not like that's the news, but I'm just saying. We'll talk about how we think it's going to affect us because now it's the squad's locked in. No incomings. No, I even saw people feeling sorry for Terrell Malacia because there was obviously a big injury to Harry Amas, a big injury to Patrick Dorgu. And he was told, you ain't effing leaving. And it's like, that was felt a little bit harsh because it's like, you know what? He deserves to go resurrect his career. But it's like, nah, mate, never know. Might need you, even though probably won't. But yeah, let's talk about it. Big up to each and every single one of you, man.
Yes, good morning, folks. Welcome to The Morning View. No longer the transfer view. The transfer window is shut, so no transfer views until the summer, until the end of the season. This is The Morning View. We'll be discussing Manchester United news, and we are going to be talking if indeed Michael Carrick, is he a perfect match for some of these players? And you know what else is a perfect match, Fleck? Yeah, when it comes to your health goals, your fitness goals, I want to think of something that begins with the right letter. You know, for me, the best letter is O. You know, obviously because my name begins with it. Yeah. Oxford Natural, Optimised. Yeah, that sounds like a perfect match, doesn't it? If only there was a VT to explain it all. Oh, there is. Oh, roll VT, lovely.
Today's video is sponsored by our friends at Oxford Natural and their all-new natural supplement, Optimum Day and Night. Thousands across the UK, USA and beyond are smashing their health goals with Oxford Natural. Optimum Day gives you steady energy, curbs your cravings and keeps your metabolism firing all day. Optimum Night helps you relax, get restorative sleep, recover and keep burning fat while you rest. It's not a magic pill, but it will help you reach your health goals. Check out some of the incredible results. 2 of our own, OWEN, lost over 100 pounds in 10 months and KG dropped 30 pounds in 4 months. In 8 months, football legend Michael Owen lost 35 pounds and Robbie from AFTV, Don Robbie, lost over 80 pounds. And in 6 months, Anita, an award-winning immigration lawyer, lost 44 pounds. And Linda, a law firm executive, lost over 50 pounds. No gimmicks, no needles, just results. Oxford Natural, let's get to work.
Yes, as always, you can scan that QR code right there to subscribe and save up to 70% off. It takes you to the landing page. You can find out all of those case studies, stories, find out all the information when it comes to your Optimum Day, which is good for your weight loss goals, your Optimum Night, which is good. That rose up very slowly from the
I wanted a different arrival. Usually it's very aggressive. Someone over there in the corner usually starts throwing them at me.
Yeah.
You know,
this time
so it's one of the
slow rise, from like someone when they enter, like Cody Rhodes in the wrestling, or at the start of a concert, like Michael Jackson when he pops up slowly out of the stage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Something like that. Yes, you can get your Optimum Day, you can get your Optimum Night, you can get them individually or combined, any which way you please. As always, all the information is in the video description below. Links pinned in the chat, or you can scan the QR code there on the sidebar. Fleck, when we're talking about Michael Carrick and his Manchester United squad, of course, now he knows exactly what he's got. The window is shut. No real business to speak of, obviously on deadline day. A couple of exits of some loan players, some academy players. I saw this morning, I think there's even some confirmation about Sesko Cunha going to Luzern in Switzerland, which he's actually been over there, I think, for a little while with training and stuff like that. But now it's official. Not too surprising, really, in terms of no incomings. We thought that would probably be the case. We kind of discussed this a little bit last night on the red carpet, but of course you weren't on there, so I'm interested to know what you think. Is there any part of you that's a little bit, worrisome, a little bit concerned, of the whole, wow, what if a player gets injured, this, that, and the other? Because the thing that we were discussing last night is, has the run of 3 wins actually been somewhat to the detriment of Michael Carrick?
Because it means
we won the games. Because we won the games, it's like, well, you see, we don't need anyone. Whereas if we'd lost the games, maybe it would have been a bit more of a rush of, get someone in.
Yeah, when you lose, it always throws up those type of different emotions, which even under Ruben, we tried to keep calm. When Bruno got injured and then the boys went to AFCON, Amram was clear even then, like, we're not going to rush and make bad decisions and repeat the sins of the past. And those things are true. Like, we still have to remember, like, not to do that. Like, I know we always get caught up in the here and now, but we've been paying for mistakes for ages. We have to stop doing that. Like I said yesterday, if there was a loan, low cost loan to the end of the season, it was doable. It was the right guy. Wouldn't have been against it. But I'm not super mad. I'm not disgusted. And outraged.
You sympathize. Look at you,
sympathize 100%.
Ineos and the Glazers.
Ineos, they're worming it. It's more. And do you know what it is? It's more. It's 2 things. One of it is more actually believing in Carrick and the players' confidence. With what we've seen in the last 3 games. So it's leaning into a little bit of that. I'm not naive. I know it can change because look how quickly we lost, from elation to despair against Arsenal. Doing the surf, everything's great. Hamstring gone 10 weeks. Do you know what I mean? Same game. Scores probably the goal of the season, one of. And then, in the same game, like you said, just in a click of a finger, he's out. I get it. I understand football. I'm not stupid. We've been watching football for all our lives. We understand that in a split second, everything can change. But I just think that there's enough. I think Carrick will find solutions with what's there. I get it. If Casemiro was out now for the rest of the season, because we're worried, so we paint the worst.
Okay. At Stockton Fiero 5,379 super chatted 200 rupees. Why no one talking about Nagelsmann, who would be the obvious first choice with the Vivel Red Bull connections? Surely conversations are happening behind the scenes.
Well, I mean, the connection's there. Stockton, I hear that. The relationship would obviously be there. But it's just really hard to nail it down right now because going in a hole, it's already got that sort of familiar feel, that homely feel where if this is galvanizing and if this is garnishing, you can just feel that Ineos, I'm talking my opinion, I feel Ineos might lean more towards Carrick instead of going for like foreign manager coming from the start. I just feel it.
What do you think they do with just that whole process, right? Because when do they stop looking? Basically, you know what I mean? Because at the moment they're looking. I don't know how intensely they're looking. You know,
they should be looking intensely. They should be doing everything normal.
I'm sure there's conversations, talking to agents. I'm sure if you reached out, for instance, the example there is Nagelsmann. If you reached out to him, it probably would be a little bit of, yeah, maybe, but I've got World Cup that I'm really focusing on at the moment, so I don't really want to be too distracted.
Exactly.
So with those people, it's kind of, I suppose at the moment it's kind of touching base of, would you be interested in having a conversation later? And if they say no, then obviously it's a non-starter. If they say yes, it's like, okay, the iron's in the fire. But I guess my point is here is, if Carrick keeps winning, when do you stop doing that? When do you stop? When do you just go, well, there's no point to
When do you decide?
I
think, I personally
just carry
think,
on as normal until the end of the season.
I think you don't. Yeah, 100%. I think that there shouldn't be a situation, really, unless it's to say that Carrick definitely isn't, where they need to talk about it. You just go up to the end of the season. You let Michael Carrick finish his job until the end of the season, where he's smart enough and calm enough and clever enough to not be getting involved in hyping up the media, because when they've stopped asking him already, surely you must want this job. And, if we get to the 5 in a row, Frank cuts his hair, that'll be a big thing. Oh, you must want this job personally now, innit? You must have to. And he will always just give the listen, I'm just here to do my job until the end of into the season. We'll see how things go. Yeah. That's all he has to say. And I've got faith he'll say that. And that's also all we have to do. In the background, I do want Ineos to be doing their jobs, talking to potential managers, see what Thomas Tuchel's saying, see what Enrique's saying. See, they do it. Don't just think because we won 3 games under Michael Carrick that we're fixed. We're not.
Yes.
We're not fixed, bro. We're not. So, and I'm not saying, again, like I already admitted about when we're talking about this properly, without the joke thing in the book, like we do have to leave a corridor of what does it look like if Carrick was to get this job, if he keeps going on in this vein, if the feeling is right, if the environment is right. But we're not going to know what that looks like until the end of May, when the season's done. Do we even get our objective? Do you know what I mean?
You know what I'm interested in? Because this will happen. It's inevitable. What is the reaction going to be when eventually he does lose a game? Because he's going to lose a game. We're not going to win every game between now and the end of the season. We're not going to go unbeaten between now and the end of the season. It'd be amazing if we did, obviously, but the likelihood is we're going to lose at least a couple of games. What's that reaction going to be? Not so much from like the players or Ineos or Carrick. I mean more from the fan base, because as we've seen, we are the most temperamental. I mean, it's the irony, isn't it? We call you flip flop flex. We're all flip flops. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the sense that, like, on Sunday, Michael Carrick's like 5 minutes away from once again being like, see, Middlesbrough Managerial Championship, blown a 2-0 lead. What does he know? Again, typical. But obviously we win the game, and and it's a substitute, and it's someone that's Carrick's spoken quite highly of in Sesko and is working with, and then it's a lot of praise. But it just goes to show that whole fine margins thing, it is true. Like, you are just minutes away from being a fraud and a complete flop. So whenever that does come, I depending on who it's against, the manner of how it happens, you know what I mean? Like, if it was similar to we're 2-0 up and we blow it and it's 2-2, people will come for Carrick. I see. We saw the point scoring after Ruben got sacked. Just look what will happen when we lose or draw a game. It will be, see, Ruben was right, or this, that, or the other. You know what I mean? So I'm interested to see what the reaction will be with that. I hope it will be one of perspective, where it's like, look, at the moment we beat the 2 best teams in the league, then a late winner against Fulham, who, by the way, are actually a really good team. It was 6th versus 7th going into that game. We kind of forget that we've talked, because we beat Arsenal and City, we kind of did do that. Got to beat Fulham at home, mid-table Fulham.
Exactly. But it weren't that type of game.
They were one position below us. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
They're
we said they're going to come to play. There was this thing of, but what are you going to do when a team comes to Old Trafford and camps out and you've got all the ball and you have to break them down low block? Fulham weren't doing no fucking low block, mate.
No. Possession was about 50-50. It was pretty close, wasn't it? Yeah, it was played well, close. Man. Yeah, so inevitably when that stumble comes for Carrick and this team, what's the reaction going to be from the players, the media, and also the fans? Are we going to be able to hold our nerve after what can happen to any team in the league, which is you lose a game or you draw a game?
I think the difference there is going on a run. I think that bit there. I think if we lose a game or draw a game, I think the fans are quite comfortable already. because of the first 3 games, and at the point first 2 games, obviously we always flip and stuff. Everything changes. It always does because we all like say talk out both sides. I get that, but because it's so early in this thing, like just a draw, like it's just a draw. The problem is if it's like if it was Spurs at home, like if we don't win that game, and again, it's like Spurs say we lose that game, which is unthinkable, right now with how we fit. You know, this is another type of thing. Yeah, but can you beat Spurs when you're meant to? They're the worst one ever. You've won the last 3 games. You should be beating Spurs at home. There's always the new narrative of why you should win X game. Everything's
a new test,
game.
Everything's a new test.
Everything's a new test. And guess what? In football, never since the beginning of time do you pass every test, because that means you win every game. So it doesn't have to
life.
Like that.
You don't pass every test
Just
in life,
life.
do you? You know what I mean?
You don't do that. So, and it's also not about passing and failing. It's a sport. You can win or lose. Doesn't even mean you failed. You just lost today.
You can lose but still win. You know what I mean? Football's weird like that. You know what I mean?
Arsenal lost to us, and we made sure they knew about it. But the truth of the matter is you calm yourself down, go and spank Leeds 4-0, and then look at that. City do what they do, and then really that gap was back to a point worse off than what it was before they even played us. It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. City ain't it. Arsenal can dust himself down and be calm and be gone with it. But the way it's amped up, and we make sure because they needed to be told, just because in dealing with us it's different. The way it's amped up is, they're going to bottle it. See, Leeds next. Oh, to tell you what, mate, ain't lost in how many games? Ellen Road, the ferocious 4-0, dusting down. Let's just carry on. Do you know what I mean? So it's so true. Like, you're so right that like we hype up these individual specific one game things, and it just isn't about that. We can get top 4 if we would have drawn to Fulham. We could have got top 4 if we would have drawn to Arsenal 2-2 and didn't get the last minute winners we just got in the last 2 games. Wouldn't have been a catastrophe. You know, when you start seeing the other teams move away from you, I get it. That's different because if you think about it, Liverpool won their last couple, and so did Chelsea. So you have to keep pace. It's pressure, but you know we're all in that fight for top 5 because we've been inconsistent. That's why we're all within a few points of each. That's why Fulham were able to be. Tell you what, if we beat them, we'll be 1 point behind them. We're in for a shout.
That's why Brentford are doing it now, aren't they? They just beat Aston Villa, and look at them once again. They're like, they 7th or 8th or something like that.
Crazy.
They're the same thing. And I think those teams like a Fulham and a Brentford and what have you, maybe they're not looking at 5th spot for Champions League, but they're looking at, I tell you what, we can get into Europa League, we can get into Europa Conference next season, because like you said, the league's inconsistent, and a couple of wins can skyrocket you up the table, right? So, yeah, I think when it comes to Carrick, I think we got to be careful of falling into the same trap that we did with Ruben, where every game was a referendum on him and his future. And that was quite silly with Ruben, someone that had a 2.5-year contract. I think even more silly with Michael Carrick, who's just here to the end of the season, because, his objective, his remit is just to get results now. You know what I mean? I doubt he's probably even thinking that far ahead in the future because he doesn't need to. That's not in his job description. Until he's told otherwise, it's just focus on the next game, which I think does make it a bit easier for him. And I think that's also why he'd have probably yesterday been quite relaxed with the lack of activity in the transfer market, because his job is to get the best out of what he's got. His job isn't to come in and demand more or extra. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure that was probably laid out in front of him. It's one of the reasons Ruben Amram left, is because not getting extra players in January and what have you. So I'd be staggered if, when Michael Carrick was having conversations about coming on the job, being told, yeah, we're going to get players, and we're going to be doing this, we're going to be doing that in January. He's probably known for a while that's not a thing. That's not going to happen. Avi with a super chat says, I'm ready to be hurt again. I only took 3 weeks. Only took 3 weeks. We've also got 750 people watching. We're not even at 200 likes, Fleck. Specifically, we're at 131. So let's get the likes up. Let's see if we can get to a quick 500. There's over 500 of you in here.
It up.
Yeah,
it up.
No excuse. No excuse yet. No excuses. No excuses. Last night, Flex, I don't know. There was a lot of back and forth, particularly between KG, that comedian, and Brad's the hater, and large, to be fair, it wasn't actually from Brad's, it was more from KG. He was pressing Brad's a lot on the Bruno.
About what? Why?
About the
what,
Bruno
saying,
thing.
What did he say? You hate him, or you think? What?
Yes.
What
Well, first of all, he said that me and KG were on the top. DJ and Brad's were on the bottom, and he said these two Bruno haters at the bottom, right? And
who's the two? What? DJ as well?
Well, this is where it was nasty work because he said, I said, DJ, are you a Bruno hater? He said, I'm not a Bruno hater. I'm not a Bruno hater.
So.
And KG said, wow. KG and DJ were at a party the other day.
Sake.
They were at a party the other day, and KG said that he was talking to DJ off stream, and he brought those comments off stream on stream.
KG, is that what you did?
And I said, that's nasty work. So I said, that's nasty work. Now, someone did point out that, that I'm a hypocrite and I've done nasty work because the other day I talked about when you told me about Sterling in our WhatsApp messages. But, it's a bit of a joke.
I think when you're tight, the things that you can bring and the things that... Yeah.
And that was a WhatsApp. That was a WhatsApp. I've done that before. This was very much off the record. Very much off the record. The thing. Anyway, DJ got pressed a bit, but Brad's got pressed the most about it. And KG basically demanded that he apologize, and Brad said, "I'm not going to apologize," and that very much upset. Very much upset KG, the comedian.
Me and Bradley always clash with Bruno, but we always in a good way. Sometimes we do get animated, but. We are opposite ends of the spectrum because what I remember Bradley's thing is he sees Bruno as like one of the problems, and I always argue as soon as he uses that word with Bruno,
he said he still does. He said he still does as well. He said he still sees him as a problem.
There you go. And I always push back, and we always argue in football terms. And I'm like, that's where I just don't get it. Like Bruno is not one of our problems, but I also am able to have conversations with him where he's like, but listen, where he doesn't keep the ball and stuff like that, or he's only good for this period of time. We need someone more consistent. I'll listen. I'll say, listen, I will call out bad performances from Bruno. I'll cuss him if he's playing badly because I'm not on the agenda of like, he can do no wrong. That's no player should do it. I'm on like, if he plays badly and he's giving away the ball and it's hurting us, I will say it. I will say, nah, he was shit today. Or fucking hell, I can't believe he's still on the pitch. Like, that's fine. But in terms of him being the problem and like he needs to leave this football club, I don't. That's where me and Bradley don't agree, and we always agree to disagree on that. But what Bradley does do, he doesn't, in my opinion, Bradley doesn't let his his feeling that he's one of the problems. He doesn't let that. That doesn't stop him from giving Bruno any praise and saying like he's doing well now or. No. Like, you know how Ricky hates Bruno. Me and Ricky always
he won't. He won't do the. Now he doesn't really do the praise thing.
He'll say it's not fantastic. That's just this. And Dan, I was back in the day. You lot all know me and Ricky. That was the original thing of where Ricky came through. I interviewed him first before anyone ever did, and outside of Wolves it was, and it went on from there. Me and Ricky's relationship. Ricky would be like. People like Bruno, no, they shouldn't even be playing in the Premier League. Like, it should be at Birmingham or should be... No, they're just... Dan James...
Villa, didn't he?
Villa.
He said Villa, and then Rashford went to Villa.
Yeah. And I think, Rashford, he said Birmingham. I think he said Birmingham.
Oh, did he?
Birmingham or Aston Villa, maybe he might have said.
Yeah.
But anyway, with the Bruno thing, it's like, no, you're much better off having just a Dan James who keeps the ball better, Flex. That's who you need, players who keep the ball, not... So we disagree, but anyway... I'm not even going to do the But anyway, so he didn't apologize. He did give credit. He said Bruno's been really good the last 3 months. He kind of pushed back a little bit and said he just didn't like this idea that he's never been bad and he's been super consistent which is kind of true because he has had his period of time. Like for instance, last season he started terrible, didn't he, Bruno? Yeah, every player kind of does.
That was openly said, but he didn't apologize. He said maybe reconsider at the end of the season. But since the Bruno thing was being brought up, there was a clip that I saw on socials from another documented Bruno sort of naysayer in Coach Cams. You know what I mean? He's had a lot to say about Bruno Fernandes. I wanted to get your reaction to this.
Big up Liban. All right. Okay.
Yeah, just to, you know what I mean?
Just
to see, what you think about this, because it's always good to have different opinions on this kind of stuff. Bruno is a polarizing and divisive figure, so this was Cam's getting pressed on it a little bit.
When was this?
What do you think about Bruno?
Bruno, I think he's a quality player. I don't care. I think he's a world-class player. But world class. Well, he's world class.
Safe, man.
Look at that reaction, by the way. Straight away.
Yeah.
Bruno's a world-class player.
I don't care. I think
really.
he's a world class player, but world class. Well, he's world class.
Saves, man.
He's like a big nasty.
Fernandes is a world class player. If you, this is what I'm saying to you.
I don't
If you
agree.
genuinely think he's not world
don't
class,
agree.
What did you have before I got here?
I don't
You're not
agree.
right. You're not
I don't
right. So
agree.
you think he's not a world
Saying
class
what
player?
you've been drinking.
You think Bruno Fernandes is not a world class?
No, I do
I
not.
don't.
No, I do not think
I don't.
Bruno Fernandes is a world class player. Why
Sorry.
would I? Why would you think that?
Just
Why?
because you play at a big club and get a couple of GAs doesn't make you a world class player.
Stop
Why-
it,
I
Will.
hate
Man.
you. I hate you.
That is ridiculous. What's Harry Kane then? You know what I mean? What's Harry Kane at Spurs? You know what I mean? Played for a big club, just got a few goals and assists. I bet you world class. Well, we talk about.
Man.
Done okay.
Done okay.
At Shaw
Shows
Armin
him.
1688 super chatted £5. The issue is people have made Bruno the face of this era of failure, but he's been one of the few shining lights. The forced hate I can't get with.
Oh, you said
Yeah,
Fleck's most overhated
That's
player.
exactly 100%. And it's because he's been at Man United in the worst period. So they go, well, what's he led them to? He's what, 15th Europa League. He's dead. But again, they're just talking about football as an individual sport then. Like you're just completely forgetting what he's done. And Cams, I know we're going to carry on rolling VT. To be fair to Cams, I know I could call him right now and he'd probably
Say the same thing.
He
Yeah,
wouldn't, he's not a flip-flop. He just would say his thing.
Yeah.
You need to consistently prove to me on a big stage,
Who's class for Spurs?
big games,
Did I have any world class players? Son?
top
Is
6
Son world
sides.
class?
He
Spurs,
always
I mean,
goes
he was
MIA.
world class. I don't know if I was
Okay.
Portugal, but he's still a top player.
Not
He's a
really.
top player.
Top 6 sides, he always goes MIA. Apart from, when he got assist in the FA Cup final, you know what I mean? Played, was involved in the goals against Arsenal, top of the league. Was involved in the goals against Man City, second in the league.
Scored a free kick against Arsenal last year.
Last year, scored a free kick at Old Trafford against
Liverpool.
Arsenal.
Liverpool lobbed the keeper from outside the box. Man City,
what I mean?
remember the infamous Martial dinked it over the top. You know what I mean?
Does he put for the Maguire goal against Liverpool? Does he put the cross in the box?
Yeah,
Pretty sure he does. It's just not true, is it? You know what I mean?
When was
Just
this?
one of
April
those
25, though. This is April 25.
Done okay.
At the witness 8,458 super chatted £4.99. Gents, have you noticed the Genev soft launch agenda on Sesko? At every chance exaggerating his time at United as being terrible, which just isn't true.
Is that what Gary was on?
Have I noticed that? I've seen him talk about Sesko. I haven't really picked up on that, D. I'm going to look out for that. And we are going to talk about Sesko, actually.
Yeah.
We're doing this first, but hold that thought, D. We're going to get back to that because we are going to talk about that.
Yeah.
Top player still. I was still putting
who's
him
world
there.
class
He's
for
the top
Arsenal?
player still.
I just don't know your measuring stick.
You're world class for
World
Roma.
class for
Saliba,
Arsenal would be
Saka.
Saliba. Saka would be world class.
Declan Rice.
Rice.
Yeah,
Top three in
I'm
position.
gonna push him. Yeah, I'm gonna push him into the world class.
Bruno's in that category of those players.
David
David
Raya.
Raya. I want.
I would have put David Raya world class.
I'm trying to work out. I'm trying to work out.
I'm trying to work out the
No,
Roma.
no,
No, that's it. I think those
Raya's
three.
not.
Onana.
Odegaard.
Pushes.
Odegaard?
He's
pushing it, but Fernandes is.
Broski.
No, that's
Odegaard's
not.
better than him.
Listen.
Yeah, I
think that's what
can't
I'm
lie
saying.
to
Cams!
Odegaard's better than him. No. Wait. I'm ringing him.
Cams, I don't care how old this clip is, yeah? I don't care
Well, it's
how
April
old
last year.
I
I'm
don't
ringing
care. Odegaard better than Bruno.
I'm ringing him. He ain't going to answer, though. Look at that. These man ain't up early, man. These are late risers. He's on voicemail.
They're on
straight
do
away.
not disturb.
Do not disturb, but I'm doing a do not disturb where you can bypass the system by doing
Yeah.
bare calls. Where
Well, well, this is how you see how important you are if you're on the list. You know what I mean?
I'm definitely not on the list. I'm gonna send him a voice note. That's nasty work. That the Odegaard one's mad.
Yeah.
Right there. Culture cams, Camelino. I know that I'm on do not disturb, and you've got it set that I can't bypass the system, bro. I'm live on United View right now. I've seen a couple of clips circulating. Shout out Liban of you man on SDS, April the 6th, 2025. And you said that Bruno Fernandes is not better than Odegaard. I know you don't think he's world class. You've never really liked Bruno like that. We'll deal with that on another day. But I paused the video when you said that Odegaard's better than him. What, like, is there, like, are you running it back? Is it just that, yeah, I got that wrong? Do you not care anymore because Mikel Carrick has made a different version of Bruno? Is it that? Like, what? Like, I just want to know where you stand on that, bro. Like, by the time you answer this, I'm not going to be on the show, but I just need to know. The community are asking me, bro.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't
listen.
need to play any more of the clip, to be honest. That speaks for itself. You know what I mean? It's just wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Bear in mind, you've got Arsenal fans. You know, again, granted, that's just about a year ago, but still, you've got Arsenal fans who are going, "We need a maverick like Bruno," and you got Lee Judges going, "That's not a captain," because he's been taken off after 60 odd minutes against Manchester United, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, listen, one thing I will never do, especially on the internet live.
What will you never do?
Is like, you have to be, you see the flip-flopping or getting a wrong take. You see HMRC where obviously his thing is more like you lied about something. But when we did it, it was bringing up things that didn't age well. Do you know what I mean? In this football thing, right, mate. I said Sofian Amrabat. What did I say? I was like, fucking Amrabat, fucking get him in. I saw him at the World Cup. He's this, he's better than Declan Rice, mate. I'm going to see. You know what I mean? I said, I've been there. I've said mad stuff. I have. We all have. So I'm definitely not going to do that whole act like I've never said something that's been way off. Or I look back and I go, fucking, what was I thinking? So that's why I'm giving him the opportunity to be like, I know you felt like that then, but what do you feel like now? Because I'm honest with that. Because we've been in this thing on the internet. We all do it. We say stuff, whether it's Fred, it could have been something about McTominay, could have been something about, it could be something about anyone. And in the moment when you're playing badly or the person's in bad form and you think, actually, it could be better for this, or at that time, I don't know. Remember when Odegaard had that really good season? Was that then? Maybe he's thinking,
that was last season they're talking, so I don't know if that was last season.
No. Last season he did it. He did it maybe a couple of years ago. But and the way he plays, there was time when Arsenal were really on the front foot, scintillating football, and you go, Odegaard's been at the heart of that for like 6 months. So then perceptions change within that bit. But obviously the true test of time is over 6 years, over the time they've been here, you get it. But there are times when you do say, I will 100%. There's times 100%. We've all said things where you go, fucking hell, can't believe I said that.
Yeah, there's times where players have, like you say, bad periods. And maybe this is Brad's point last night. But it's not to say that in 6 years, for every single game, Bruno Fernandes has been, 10 out of 10 perfect.
No,
he's had period of times where he's been,
games.
Not great, and he's been shocking and what have you. But if you look at the overall, you know what I mean? If you look at the overall across the 6 years that he's been here, the fact that he has, created more chances, I think, is it more assists than anyone during that time period? Even goals scored, and he's not even, a striker. He's right up there during that time period as well. They do speak for themselves. And it is one of those ones of when you think, well, if he wasn't there during that time period, I don't know who would have filled that void. Because even the season that he came in, people forget this, like that 2019-2020 season, before we get Bruno in January, like that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer team is going nowhere fast. It is a shit team. And then Bruno comes in, the tide already starts to turn a little bit. And then he only really plays in front of fans for about a month. And then obviously COVID hits and boom. And then when we come back from COVID, he's brilliant there as well. We get some players back from injury and we end up getting top four. He's just been ridiculous. And it's one of those situations too, where for some reason the knock on him is to take away his best attributes. It's one of those ones of like, but take away his goals and assists. What does he offer? And you go, but that's what he's there to do.
The main thing.
You know what I mean? And actually, even that, this may be a sign of how good he is. Even if you do take away his goals and assists, he still does contribute because he's still the pass before the pass. He still covers a lot of ground. He still is a leader. You know what I mean? So even that argument doesn't really work all that much, right? Mandy with the super chat says, guys, where is our Kenny? I miss him. Kenny's all good. He's probably in Lanzarote at the moment,
chilling on the island.
Retirement.
He's always in the group chat. He's in there.
He's always involved, probably playing bowls. He usually wins as well. He's a winner. Does. Our Kenny, absolutely. Super Arch says, you forgot the old clip search they brought up. This is how, again, dirty the red carpet was getting a little bit last night. Brad said, type in on YouTube UV clips, Bruno uncomfortable conversation, and see how many videos there are. Flex, there are a lot. There are a lot.
Good. He's right. That's You have because uncomfortable conversations have to be had.
But his
100%.
point was, if the fact that there are so many videos talking about uncomfortable conversations with Bruno, that must suggest that there have been these moments where he's not been doing well or he has been a problem.
Yeah,
So
he's right
he's
saying that.
always been
Oh, what
consistent.
was KG saying that there hasn't been times where Bruno's not been good?
I'm not really sure what point KG was making at that point. Because again, we kind of realized that it was less about Bruno, it was more about him. I think he was annoyed that he's been asked and pressed to apologize, and he has. And I think he wants other people to apologize. He apologized at the start of the show, actually, for the Ruben Amorim thing. He was on the screen by himself.
I was with him yesterday. He said, "Yeah."
Oh, this was different. We did it on red carpet. He started the show, took the hat off. We played some music in the background, and he gave a very sincere apology for a couple of minutes for backing Ruben Amorim.
So maybe that's why he wanted everyone else to say sorry about their things.
Yes,
because he was in the mood of sorry.
But the sort of point is that just because you do it doesn't mean other people are going to do it.
Yeah.
Right? You can't expect people to do what you do.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah,
I feel like, yeah. Well, listen, Brett. That's what I mean about that when I do speak to Brett. Like I just think it's just about ownership and basically going right. Well, yeah, it's true. This is this and this is that. Over the course of Bruno's time here, he's definitely had some times where it's he hasn't been good. He's had bad games. He's had bad patches of form. Then there's been times, I know for me, I definitely have been, when my famous rip it all up and all of that, when I'm angry at everything, just get rid of everyone. Fucking rip up this whole club. It's control, alt, delete. Do you know what I'm saying?
that was it as well. KG actually tried
is that
to
why
call
he
you.
called me?
Yeah, he actually tried to call you to ask Brad if Bruno, if Brad said Bruno was the biggest problem. That was it.
The biggest. Bradley always says he's one of the problems at this club, which I always disagree with.
Yeah.
Can I put my hand on heart and say Bradley said he's the biggest? I don't think Bradley says he's the biggest problem.
No, he didn't. He didn't deny
He says
that
he's
he's
one
a problem, but I don't think he said he was the biggest problem. I don't think. And and KG was trying to, find if you knew that.
No, he didn't. To my recollection, because like I said, I can't lie. Me and Bradley have a lot of back and forths about Bruno. We've always
and he's,
done it.
by the way, he's willing to debate anyone on it. Like he won't shy away.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. Good.
Anyone asks him, whatever. Like you said in the group chat, he's always involved. You know what I mean? He's always involved.
And when we press each other, it's me and him always. It always ends in like agreeing to disagree. Because I'm never going to agree that Bruno's one of the problems, and he's never going to undo thinking that Bruno isn't one of the problems. But we do find a middle ground of like, then it gets quite petty, like, because even in the Manchester Derby, last game I was with Bradley with Manchester Derby, right? We had a massive Bruno conversation. It always happens before. We have a chat about it, and I'm like, so then as the game goes on, we point score against each other. It's really quite immature. But Bruno was obviously all-timer against Man City. Even like when he put it on Maguire's head first couple of minutes, like missed. I went,
doesn't do anything against top six sides, though.
I said, Bruno, look at that. Put it right on his head. What do you want, Brad? What do you want? And I goes, anyway. When I'm being passive-aggressive fleck. Then, great passes. I think he put someone else through. He might have put Mbrumo through on goal. And he missed, or Dorgu. I can't remember who it was. He did something else that nearly led to a goal. I went, see that pass from Bruno? See that? Bruno, mate. And then he just kept doing mad stuff the whole game. And then he got the assist for the first goal. And obviously was going mad. And I was going, Bruno, Fernandes, Bradley. Like shaking it. Like we have a laugh, though. We have a laugh. So, yeah. I hear it. I hear it.
Speaking of agendas or what have you, someone that certainly does have an agenda is Marcel, and he's got a few of them, right? One of the agendas he has is with Benjamin Sesko, right?
Yeah, he does.
Even when he got injured and he could have played on, Sesko was out for like 8 weeks or however long it was. You spoke to him after he scored the winner at the weekend. It's on UV Clips. I just wanted to show it because I thought the title was quite humorous. Sesko's biggest hater reacts to his winning goal. And it kind of nicely turns into the Sesko conversation about Michael Carrick as well. So here's what Marcel had to say after Sesko scored the winner at the weekend.
Is Sesko his goal? He's going to need that confidence.
Well, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Because you are one of his harshest critics. I'm not going to say it's a Sesko agenda, but you are onto him. Whether he's taking too long, whether
Yeah, it
he
is an
needs
agenda.
to brush off that injury and hurry up and get to it.
Yeah.
Is this what you want to see from him? Was that a shut up Marcel moment? Because you've been on to Sesko and he come off the bench, hit the post straight away, involved. Then he takes a little touch from the Bruno pass, top bins. Like, this is a shut up Marcel moment, no?
Definitely. I have to hold this one because, you know, goals is what is his currency as a striker. You have to be able to produce goals. And in this game, 2 moments. I didn't like the touches at times or the pressing.
He's
but
still
that's little
trying to.
minute things. I feel like I want a
Still.
little bit more from him, but the goal's good enough. I have to hold up my hands.
And in transition, he kept the ball, rode a couple tackles, won a free kick, relieved a bit of pressure off the team. You know, come on, man, give him his props, bro.
He did. He didn't win a header though. There was.
You see, no, don't look for the crosses in the columns. Give him his praise.
No. Fair's due. And I'm happy to see that he's scoring now and adding to the team.
Don't sound like it.
Yeah, I was going to say, it does not sound like it at all, does it? With Sesko, can Michael Carrick, do you think, get the best out of him? You know, he did speak very highly of him after the game, said about how hard he works and this, that, and the other. But I do kind of agree what Marcel was saying in the sense of, because DJ and myself were saying this on the match. When he did come on, we were kind of going, we need you to be pressing a little bit. You know what I mean? He's not that big sort of presser. He kind of not strolls around, but sort of jogs around the sort of front. But as we saw, he was a threat when he came on, hits the post, scores the winner. But is he going to be a starter regularly under Carrick when you do get more maybe from Mbeumo, you know, in that
how he engages the
running
opposition.
in behind? Yeah,
I think it'll be a little bit more in Mbeumo's favour for the rest of the season. Depending on what happens on the left hand side, you know, with Cunha, you know, Cunha looks all right at the minute. I was saying actually, Cunha probably wasn't playing his best football actually. Apart from the 2 magical moments he had to win the free kick /pen,
he does,
and then
that,
the actual goal. He flirts in between the games, which is kind of Maverick might be a little bit, but that's kind of what those type of players do. They're kind of on the periphery, but they possess a bit of magic. And as if he does that, no problem. You know, against Arsenal, he didn't start, come off the bench, gets the goal. You know, then wins fouls and frustrates them. You know, brilliant cameo. And then I saw on social media at halftime. I saw it like in our, not necessarily in our comments, but on X, and get Cunha off so much more better as a super sub. He's an impact player. Take him off, this, that, and the other. And I can't sit there and say he was playing the best because he wasn't really involved, but he finds the magic. And what he did do well was, like I say, he went to the right-hand side and won the free kick, this pen/free kick that led to the goal. So, but yeah, back to Sesko. I feel like Carrick will go with Mbeumo more time than not. With this current setup of what we've got, he'll go over Mbeumo, but I think Carrick has also got the skills to keep Sesko involved. He as the team gets tired, as the team needs something else, it's a good move to have during games. Probably going to take Cunha off in quite a few games, put Mbeumo to the left. He can see it out, or vice versa. Mbeumo's a bit tired, keep Cunha on, take off Mbeumo and just put on Sesko. So. And he can play up front with Bruno. Casemiro might get tired and he might not always want to put Ugarte there. Might drop Bruno back one and play Sesko and Mbeumo up front as the 2. So I just think there's options. But no, I don't think that he's going to be the main starter. He'll be on the bench more time. He'll have more sub appearances than he will starts from now to the end of the season. But that doesn't mean his confidence won't still be high. He's scored 4 in 4, I think, now, isn't it? Is he scored like something like that?
Well, he got two under Fletcher, didn't he? And then because we forget that when Carrick named his first starting 11 for that Manchester derby, one of the first things everyone said was Sesko's really unlucky not to start because he'd scored goals.
He scored 3 and 2 at that point, didn't he? I think he scored 1 against Brighton. It didn't matter. Then he scored the 2 against Burnley. Yeah, so he had 3. He didn't start against Man City. Didn't start against Arsenal, or hadn't started any since.
But I'd much rather it be like that, where we're sort of going, he's unlucky not to be starting. You know what I mean? If it was a case of he's not starting because he's rubbish and he's not scoring goals and he's just a lump when he comes on, then that would be much more of a concern. I'm not opposed to the fact of, he is scoring goals. At the moment, he's coming on, and if Mbeumo drops off, and because people forget before AFCON and Mbeumo's form dipped. If his form dips, then you can start Sesko, and different games will have different requirements, right? And the important thing, I think the real important thing for Sesko, maybe unlike Mbeumo, is Mbeumo if the game's tight and maybe we're not creating a ton of chances, you've got more faith that Mbeumo's going to put that one chance away, or out of those 2 chances, Mbeumo would definitely score one. With Sesko, maybe sometimes it can be 4 or 5 chances to a goal sometimes, where he's very much reliant on, you've got to be creating for him. You know what I mean? You've got to be like that header where he hits the post, get crosses in the box. When he's on the pitch, sometimes we don't put balls in the box, do we? We don't feed him enough. Whereas with Mbeumo, not that he'll create stuff for himself, but he will go he'll try and make things happen as well. You know what I mean? He'll be constantly making runs in behind, or be dropping deep, or be drifting out wide and all that. And particularly where I think Carrick may, particularly away from home, will want to be pressing teams, he's going to always go with Mbeumo. You know what I mean? He is. And also Mbeumo's,
and it's probably the right thing to
he's a more experienced player. You know what I mean?
He's wicked. He's better than Sesko.
For longer. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. Sesko's what, 22? I think we do have to understand how young he is, how raw he is, how much he's still got to learn. And actually, you know, Carrick working with him, keeping him locked in is a good move. Like, you know, I saw that he brought Berbatov in, I think, to talk to him. They've been working with him in the last week or so, and he needs to learn, man. There's no. I still think there's things you see in Sesko's game that you like. Well, me personally, he's got a good touch for a big man. When he gets moving, it is that Haaland vibe of, like, you know, that physical specimen. Once they get ahead of steam, it's like you should be able to bulldoze way through. Obviously, the fantastic leap he's got in the air. He is quite handy in the air, of course. And he's just got to master how to use his body and get used to things.
Done okay.
At Peter Gokevsky 999 super chatted MKD 100. Bruno has a bigger legacy in the Prem than Gerrard.
I mean, look, neither's won the Prem.
Neither's won the Prem. So
both have finished second.
Yeah, I think he's looking at it from that. And again, it's 2 different contrasting types of players. But I mean, Gerrard put
strictly from a Premier League legacy.
Numbers and that.
The problem is you can't really separate just Prem. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Gerrard's. Listen, because they've both played with some dross. They both played in the club where it weren't the best players in it. But like you said, Champions League winner Gerrard put Liverpool.
But it's not Prem. That's not Prem.
That's not Prem. But it's like it's just
you can't really separate. I'm not sure.
He did say the Prem in terms of in
capitals.
Caps. Anyone who disagrees is a Scouser. Yeah, Gerrard's just. Oh man, I don't think we should be doing that. I'll be honest.
All Elite says, I never saw Gerrard have 6 out of 10 games, and he also single-handedly dragged his sides to victories. Gerrard had 6 out of 10 games.
Nah, every player has. Every player has.
And also Bruno single-handedly dragged his sides to victories, right? So I don't know if that's necessarily the one.
Yeah. Gerrard, better Premier League. Bruno, better Premier League legacy. Because they both haven't won the Prem, so it's not about winning the trophy.
What's difficult with that is Steven Gerrard only played in the Prem pretty much his entire career, apart from going to the MLS right at the end, right? So
yeah,
it's like there's a much bigger
and Steven Gerrard, listen, even as a United fan, I don't care. Like as a complete player, yeah, but just as a complete player of what Gerrard is, because they're 2 different types. Bruno's would you say Bruno's a complete player? No, I wouldn't say Bruno's a complete player. But Bruno is the best at what he does and the best at what his job is. But also Bruno, when asked to do other things, he can, fight for the team, run around, give everything. But Gerrard's a different animal, man. I don't think we should be doing that. But I do see where you're going with it, because you said you specified just Prem and stuff. Gerrard played with some dross, but he played with some world-class players as well. Just like, has Bruno played? Bruno's played with Pogba. He's played with, I said, to be fair, Gerrard probably had a few better people around him than we had for Bruno.
Yeah, I mean, look,
Xabi Alonso, Torres, Suarez.
Once again, it's just because Steven Gerrard, I know technically not a one-club man, but essentially a one-club man. He played there his whole career, so naturally that means he would have played in some really good Liverpool teams, which he did, and also some really bad Liverpool teams. I think the fact that Steven Gerrard, Premier League legend, played in the Premier League for like pretty much 2 decades almost. I don't think you can make that argument. If Bruno's stuck in the Prem for the rest of his career, and and in it he wins a Premier League title with Manchester United, then you go, right, okay, let's have that conversation a little bit.
See, that's where I
but-
think, because obviously our bias, like Old Trafford TV says, like apart from rocket shot, like outside the box, like Gerrard's ability is limited. It's just not true.
Steven
He
Gerrard
he could do everything.
Passing range,
Tackling,
you know, up
He
and
could
down
power
the
through,
pitch.
like his leg
Yeah,
speed and
yeah,
strength of like
yeah.
running with the ball. He couldn't get off me kind of
Yeah,
vibe. Couldn't
yeah.
get near Gerrard. Like
In the same
unbelievable.
way, you should. I don't think people should put down Bruno for saying like, you know, one trick pony. I don't think you can say the same about Gerrard as well.
No,
Particularly
Gerrard's
like,
not a limited player. Of course he's
at
not.
the end of his career as well, he's playing deep line playmaker, spraying the ball around the pitch, right? Under Brendan Rodgers. So yeah, but also he like Bruno. That's not to say that Steven Gerrard was always great consistently throughout his career. Steven Gerrard, obviously the infamous slip. I remember a couple of times in his career, right? He passed it to Thierry Henry for a goal, right? And he did that. And then I was watching when it was the Euros last summer. I was watching, or the summer before, whenever it was. I watched a clip of when England played France at Euro 2004, and that, you know, when Zidane scores 2 goals like back to back, basically in the last few minutes.
When Rooney was amazing,
I forgot Gerrard passed Zidane the ball for that goal, right? So it's not as if like he never.
There's other things you can say. Yeah, like Raheem Sterling has a better England legacy than Gerrard.
Yeah, got to finals. You know what
I
I
mean? And scored a lot. Yeah, 100%. You can say that, but like
Paul's goals.
Yeah, exactly. Gerrard, like obviously, there's 2 ways we can do this. We can do this with the United thing of like, listen, a Scouser just don't. Which is probably not the conversation for here. Probably a conversation for Football Flex if we really want to just talk about it properly as football fans. Gerrard's a complete player, unbelievable, unbelievable player. Like you can't talk to Gerrard. You can't.
And but it's not to say that Bruno couldn't you know, overcome that. If, like I said, if he stayed in the Prem for the rest of his career, and if he won 1 Premier League title,
then he would.
Next thing you know, it's just a completely different thing, right? Isn't it?
But it's like saying Jordan Henderson though. Like the Jordan Henderson one is he won the Premier League as Liverpool captain. That Gerrard couldn't do. Nobody is allowed, and I will say this just as a United fan, nobody is allowed to talk about Jordan Henderson in the same vein, same stratosphere as a better captain than Thingy. And even some Liverpool fans might be stupid enough to go, yeah, but he did get us over the line, and it's all bollocks. He can't see Gerrard in any facet, Jordan Henderson.
It's also this. I suppose this is also when you have to be careful with the trophies thing too. It's like, so what is Tom Cleverley a better, you know what I mean? Midfielder
yeah, because he won the Prem.
He won the Prem. Like,
now, don't get me wrong. If I'm talking to a Liverpool fan outside of it, I'm dropping that.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You know, like I say, Danny Drinkwater, more Prems than fucking Gerrard, mate. What are you telling me?
Yeah.
I mean, so it is true.
Very quickly, Flex. I've been on ChatGPT during the show this morning, and I just asked it a question. I've been learning how to use this better, folks. So I said, use the most accurate data and all this kind of stuff. I'm in thinking mode as well, to get the most accurate reports I can. I said, where will Manchester United most likely finish in the Premier League this season? Use the most up-to-date and current data based on the current Premier League table. So this is, as of Monday, the 2nd of Feb. Right. I'm not sure it was actually the right time, but it's fine. It was 9:54 a.m., but they got it wrong. That's fine. Based on the current Premier League table, Man United are 4th, 41 points, 24 matches. They're only +1 on Chelsea, 2 on Liverpool. So the most likely finish is heavily driven by how tight that pack is. The most likely finish they're saying is between 5th and 6th, leaning towards 6th. Why? A fresh Opta supercomputer update, which was on the 2nd of Feb, projects Man United to finish 6th on 61.4 points with around 27% chance of Champions League qualification. Now, a separate projection model has the team finishing 4th with 66 points. With those 2 models disagreeing, 4th versus 6th, the table being so bunched up, the most realistic centre outcome is dropping just outside the top 4, i.e. 5th or 6th. It says less likely but possible, pushing into the top 3. They're only 5 points behind Aston Villa. Then he sort of says, if you want, I can break down what points total usually does secure 4th spot in recent seasons to map on what Man United's current points per game pace is. So if we need to up our pace or if we're on pace at the moment. So I said, yes, it says here. So Man United 4th, 41 points. What this usually means for the final position. Recent 4th place points have typically landed around high 60s, low 70s. So you've got 67, 71, 68, 69. That's an average of 69 points or a range of 67.71. United's current pace is 1.71 points per game, which projects to around 65 points over 38 games. Usually short of the fourth in the season.
But do you know why though?
65.
That bit,
but that's based on the points
under
so far
Carrick,
this season.
Exactly. And this is why I know it's really simple maths, but it's like that's why we have to win more games. Like that's why we have to be more consistent. Obviously, Michael Owen newsflash, but it's like winning 3 in a row like that. That will change that round. That's why you have to get the W's. You've got to put them on the board.
Yeah, it says to get 69 to 70 points, they'd need about 28 to 29 points from the last 14 matches, roughly 2 plus points per game, which is top 2 form over a long run. So there's, again, some are saying 6th, some are saying 4th.
This is so
it's very, very, again, it's good. So basically, the point is, but like you're saying there, that takes into account our form so far this season, including the last 3 games, which obviously it's gone a little bit up. But we do.
Did you ask it top 4? What did you do?
I asked the question.
True.
Where will we most likely finish this season?
Oh yeah, so no, you didn't even.
Where we most likely finish this season, and then it asked me the follow up, which was about how much usually secures 4th from recent.
The Villa
seasons.
one's interesting. I think I saw Rio and Housen, or it might have just been Rio on his own thing, saying, "Can we finish 3rd?" And like, I had Villa as like they can't even drag them into it. They're like 9 points away from us or whatever. How many points are we behind them? 6 now.
5, I think.
Were we 9?
5.
Oh, so it wasn't
I think it was 8. I think we're 5 points behind them now.
Are we 5 points behind Villa?
Let me just double check, but I'm pretty sure it's 5 points.
That's crazy. We could finish 3rd.
Check the table here. We are 5 points. 5 points away from Aston Villa.
Yeah. Why not? We've got to drag them. We've got to drag them into it, definitely. But that's why all we can do is keep winning and hope that some stuff go.
I mean, saying that, you're 6 points off City.
That's mad. Arsenal are going to run away with this league soon. City got Liverpool next. They're going to lose. Arsenal got Sunderland. That'll make that 9. Arsenal will go away with it now. It's crazy, isn't it? Because they're only 1 point behind. But City, I don't think will go on as bad a run as maybe what Villa could. Because they can get draws. They can chip away. But
look at some of the recent forms. You know what I mean?
Look at the form from Villa. City.
Look at the form for the top 2.
5.
The top 2.
Yeah, it's mad.
Top 2 is not great. Liverpool, they're really stumbling. It's only really United.
That was their first win in 5. Bloody hell!
It's only United and Chelsea. They're actually putting some results together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We've got the best form out the top 6.
Yeah. We're one of the most informed teams in the league.
Yeah. What's the last game we lost in the league?
That would have been. Would that have been Villa?
Draws.
I think it would have been Villa.
It was Villa, isn't it?
No way. Yeah.
Is that the last time we lost a football match?
I think so.
Was that Boxing Day?
No, that was Amram's last game, wasn't it? I think it's
Leeds was Amram's last game.
Let's have a look. Full matches. So beat Fulham, beat Arsenal, technically FA Cup, but in the league.
Yeah, but no, in the league.
In the league, it was Villa. That was last year.
21st of December. A few days before Christmas, bro. That's crazy.
And before that was a draw. That was a win. That was a draw. That was a win. That was a loss.
The infamous Everton one.
So we're 2 losses in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 2 losses in 13.
Do you know what? And obviously it should be more points because you think about the silly draws. The draws is what's killed us. But they're not used to losing football matches. And this is why maybe when we just look at it, this is why you've got to look at stats sometimes. This is why, they are resilient. We don't lose many football matches.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know we've lost 5 for the whole season, but 3 of those were at the beginning where Amram was so dead.
Yeah, and under Carrick, we're turning some of those draws into wins.
They would have been draws
as well, aren't we?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're turning those ones into
Interesting
wins.
Stuff. Interesting.
And maybe again, when you go to that sort of January transfer, lack of activity, maybe that's partially the reason why. Is they're looking at those last 13 games, go, you know what? Two losses in 13, and during that time, we did have injuries and absences with AFCON. We managed it. We dealt with it. We've had a new coach come in. We've won our last 3. If you can. And that's why, that ChatGPT thing there it's true because it's just dealing with the facts and the numbers, but also it doesn't take into account kind of almost common sense when you go, well, United have won their last 3. They're looking good. They should now be beating more teams. So
Yeah,
they should be going up the table. So we got, look, obviously not title charge and all that shit, but in terms of getting top 4 quite comfortably like that, we can do that. You know what I mean? It is there for us this season.
It's there. Just got to go and show it. Like it's there for everyone, but I get it. It's there. There's no reason why we shouldn't be making a good go of it.
We're in the position now, Flex, where literally our destiny is in our own hands. If we take care of what we need to take care of, we will get Champions League. We don't need to rely on anyone else. All we have to rely on is ourselves.
Yeah, just keep staying pace. Stay in pace.
Yep.
Keep pace of where you are. Match the results of others if you will. Show says 36 goals conceded is nasty work, because that is the only thing where you look at the top 6. We've conceded the most out of all of them. By well, actually Liverpool only 3 more than.
But look, we're scoring more goals than Villa. We're scoring more goals than Chelsea. Scoring more goals than Liverpool.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. There you go. And the points tally was the Tabrez was saying to me, and like I said, it's the same as last season already.
I know.
Mad. There you go, guys. There you go. Of course, as the Spurs situation ramps up, we will have previews for yourselves as well. Big up to each and every single one of you. Flex and KG show tonight, 7 p.m. So make sure you guys are there. If there's anything during the day, of course, we'll bring it to you as well. And yeah, have a blessed day, people. Have a blessed day. We're out of here. Take care. Peace.